We got the White Sox, of course. The White Sox are going to start things off for this year. Maybe the White Sox will be number 30 for all of next year. We don't know. I mean, we'll see. But it was an eventful week for the White Sox. Their 21-game losing streak was snapped, but Pedro Grifol being dismissed, Grady Sizemore stepping in his place. Also, a few other coaches on the staff got dismissed as well. Grady Sizemore, pretty fun pick. Overall, we all love Grady Sizemore. Luckily for me, growing up, that was when he started playing. That was during my time of, I'm in high school at the time. I'm in just getting in deep into my fanhood at the time, right? And Grady Sizemore was always so fun to watch, man. That guy, if he stayed healthy, I really do think he could, I don't know, maybe be in that like kind of Mike Trout range when it comes to wins above replacement. That guy was such a good player all around, hit for power, average, speed, was a great defender. Unfortunately, just a lot of injuries. So now we see Grady Sizemore in the manager chair. And, kind of thinking about it, I wonder if Grady Sizemore could end up being the guy there for the next couple of years. It's interesting. It feels like they kind of just went with him to like, okay, hey, listen, help us get through here the last couple of months. But I wonder if maybe this could be a bit of a tryout for Grady Sizemore. It's not like the White Sox are going to be doing anything of note for the next year, right? I mean, 2025 is going to be a complete wash. So why not just keep Grady Sizemore in that spot? Well, let's see how he does this year. I don't know what exactly they're thinking. But if they do go with Grady Sizemore, and he ends up being the manager there for a little while, I think that would be such a great story, man. I mean, a guy that, he almost gets a bit of a second chance almost in his career, but this time as a manager. I think that would be so cool if he were to able to, have success as a manager. Again, maybe he's just filling in for the rest of the year. If they were to go elsewhere, I mean, you got names out there, right? You got Skip Shoemaker, right? AJ Pierzynski's always that out of the box one. He's even said on Foul Territory, hey, my phone works. If you want to give me a call, my phone line is open. All right. Ozzie Guillen is always a guy that's going to be connected with the White Sox. I just wonder what direction the White Sox are going to go in. Do they go with like a Rick Renneria kind of type, a guy that kind of just helps them get through the next couple of years until they really feel like they're in a better place as an organization, and then they kind of make that move where, they went from Rick Renneria, to Tony La Russa, you know what I mean? So we'll see what direction they go. It would be nice if they go with a manager that they ends up being there for the long haul. No matter what, though, it doesn't really matter who the manager is, in my opinion. I think the organization needs a complete shift. I think Jerry Reinsdorf needs to get the heck out of town. I think at the end of the day, it always trickles from the top, right? I just did a video on the White Sox this past week. They had tons of talent in that organization. They had one of the top farm systems in the game. They had top 100 prospects, plenty of them, and everything just completely came off the rails. And at the end of the day, hey, the guy that runs the show at the top, it always trickles down from him. So I think for the White Sox, they really need to reevaluate just that entire organization. Not just who the manager is going to be, but what guys do you have down in the minor leagues, right? Who do you have on your coaching staff at the major league level, right? Who do you have in your analytical department? I think they need a complete shift in direction. So we'll see where they go. At this point, I have no idea. Would be cool to see Sizemore stay there for a couple of years. But we got a couple of things on the Angels. Christian Moore right now, I mean, he's not on the Angels, but I would imagine, with the way the Angels have been pushing guys through the minor leagues over the last couple of years and how good Christian Moore is doing in the minor leagues, I don't know. I think he might end up being on the Angels here, in the next couple of weeks. This guy is completely tearing it up right now. A very small sample size, 35 ABs between A ball and double A, but he's hitting 543 over that time, a 1.693 OPS and 6 home runs. Christian Moore is on complete fire in the minor leagues right now. Look out for him, number 8 pick in the minor leagues. Jack Kokonowicz Picked up his first career W. Always nice to see. The Angels' number 9 prospect. Did pretty well against the Nationals today. Went into the 8th inning. On the injury side of things, right? Mike Trout out for the year. Looked like he was on his way back, but another torn meniscus in his knee. It's becoming a really sad story. I know I'm a little late to this. I didn't go live last week to talk about this, but just very disappointing. Not disappointed in Mike Trout. Just, you want to see this guy, like one of the greatest players that we've seen, get back onto the field and play. And he's itching to as well. I honestly do think Mike Trout, I think he needs to be a DH at this point. I think you need to keep him out of the field. I think you need to keep him off his legs. I know that might be, I don't know if he would want to do that, but you have to do something with Trout at this point because it's just not working unless you maybe, I've even read stuff about maybe he could move to first. I don't know about that. Especially got Nolan Schanuel there too. I think Trout at this point, you just got to have him be the DH, right? Not a bad replacement for Shohei Ohtani if he can stay healthy. That's what I think. Maybe play the outfield a couple of times, but at this point, you got to keep him off his feet as much as possible. It really is turning into, almost like a Roger Maris kind of a situation, right? He was so good, and then injuries just kind of halted his career. I'm wishing the best for Mike Trout. But speaking of other injuries, right, Luis Rengifo, he was a trade target at the deadline and ended up not getting moved. And I'm thinking, what's going on here with Luis Rengifo? My guess now is because of the news that we got, getting season-ending surgery. So that's probably why he didn't get moved. Teams probably saw the medicals and where they were like, we don't know about this one. Also, speaking of the trade deadline, the Cubs, according to reports, tried trading for Logan O'Hoppe. That's interesting. So, anyway, Christian Moore, get that guy up to the major leagues. That would be fun. How about the Rockies? I'm sorry, Braves fans, but whoa. How about the Rockies today? A 7-run 8th inning. Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, I think the Rockies are going to be pretty good. I'm going to say this. Listen, I feel like I've been pretty good at when I see a team and I'm looking at the organization, I feel like I've done okay in that department. I was pretty big on the Dbacks a couple of years ago, and I'm like, look out for this Dbacks team. I'm not saying the Rockies are at that same level, but they got a lot of talent in this minor league system. They got a lot of top 100 prospects right now. They just brought in Charlie Condon. I'm just saying, man, look out. Look out for this Rockies team in the next couple of years. What else do we got here in the bottom 10? The Rangers, unfortunately, they're starting to fall back here now. You're starting to see people say, man, the Rangers really could have gotten back some pieces at the deadline, right? Their heart was in the right place. They wanted to compete, but they're 7.5 back in this division now. They were making a bit of a run, but now it's completely gotten halted. As a Rangers fan, I'm not sure what Rangers fans for the most part are thinking, but, could you maybe look back at this deadline and think, man, with what teams were getting, in exchange for relievers my goodness, look what they got for Tanner Scott. And, what could you have gotten for someone like Kirby Yates? You know what I mean? And, is this going to be a big missed opportunity for the Rangers, right? Especially with what this market was at the deadline. Unless the Rangers can go on some kind of a run here, I don't know, right? But not looking good there. They did have interest in Blake Snell. That was something at the deadline that did pop up there in the last couple of days. So another guy, Tarek Skubal. Right? Scott Harris on the Tigers, he was saying Tarek Skubal was not close to being traded. So I am wondering, I've had Tigers fans comment on my MLB way too early offseason predictions video. I made a prediction thinking the Tigers are going to go out there and they're going to spend some money. But I've had Tigers fans give me a little pushback, a little bit, saying that, they don't expect the Tigers to really spend any money. It's fair to think that, but I'm kind of just wondering here, listen, if you hang on to Skubal, come on, the Tigers, they got money that they can play with. And I wonder if they end up making a bit of a move this offseason. I would not be surprised at all to see them make if they are going to be willing to open up the checkbook a little bit. I know that didn't work out with Javier Baez. I think the Tigers, either way, money or just trades or whatever, I think the Tigers are going to have a big offseason. I think they're going to be very active. But that's all I got for my bottom 10. Again, that's kind of what we're going to do here for the rest of the year. Anything newsworthy to touch on with the bottom teams, I'll talk about it, but I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. Here we go. Let's move on here. Let's move on. Everyone, if you can, while I'm shifting over to the next tier, if you can, just hit that like button for me. And if you are new, think about subscribing down below. We're talking baseball here all the time. We got a lot more content coming out here over the rest of the year. We got the playoffs coming up. I got some good ideas for some videos coming up, so make sure you got all that stuff turned on, the bell and whatnot. Okay, here we go. So, moving on. Starting at number 20. We got the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pirates are in rough shape right now. They have lost 6 straight games. They're 4.5 back in this wild card race. Once again, it's just the offense, right? Yeah, you made a couple of moves at the deadline. All right, you brought in guys like IKF. All right, you brought in Brian De La Cruz. But listen, are they going to carry you to the promised land at this point? I don't know. The offense continues to struggle here. Their pitching has been a bit up and down lately. Paul Skeens, as amazing as he is, right? Hey, he's going up against the Dodgers this past week. And, hey, that's always going to be tough no matter who you are, even if you're Paul Skeens. They called it a bad start, but it was actually pretty good. It was 6 innings, 4 earned, right? But struck out 8. I mean, come on. If he just had an offense there that could help pick you up, I mean, maybe he ends up getting the win. But the bullpen has been a big problem for the Pirates, which was a bit of a strength for them. And now this past week, this bullpen has been no bueno. They have taken 4 losses this week. Bednar blew it today against the Dodgers. Bullpen's in rough shape for the Pittsburgh Pirates. On number 19, we got the Cincinnati Reds. Up and down week for the Reds. They're still hanging around in this wild card picture, right? They won 3 out of 4 against the Marlins. They lost 2 out of 3 against the Brewers, though. The offense has been picking it up a little bit. They were 22nd overall on the year, but 12th in the last 7 games. Ellie De La Cruz, Friedel's been hitting well. Tyler Stevenson had a home run today to salvage the series. Starting pitching, it's been fine for the most part. Lodolo did look okay today. Bullpen really picked him up to help get that win for today. Hunter Green, he was okay against the Marlins this week, but Nick Martinez, 7 shutout innings against the Brewers. He looked great. But the Reds, they're still just hanging around here. They're there, right? So let's see if they can put together a few wins. Maybe they can end up getting somewhere. At number 18. We got the Cubbies. I know this one might be a little bit low. I think you can make an argument for the Cubs to be a little higher. But you got to remember, the Cubs were not playing amazing, right? They were in, I believe, 22 or 23 a couple of weeks ago. Can't fully remember. But the Cubs are definitely trending up. So Cubs fans, don't get mad at me. They are trending up. I know this might seem a little low. They are 3 back in this wild card race. I am wondering if maybe we're starting to see this Cubs team get it going here, right? Their offense has been pretty stagnant this year. They're 18th overall on the year, but 4th in the last 7 games. Isaac Paredes has a couple of home runs since coming over. Dansby Swanson has been hitting over 400 in his last 7 games. And his wife, Mallory, got the game-winning goal for USA to get the gold medal. Gotta love that. But the rotation, for the most part, a couple of bumpy starts, but for the most part has been pretty solid. Neris with a couple of saves this week. Again, I could see Cubs fans saying this is too low, but listen, you got to remember here, Cubs fans, you got to be fair here. Leave the bias at the door. You got to remember, you have been playing underwhelming baseball for a little bit. So, yeah, this is where I have the Cubs here, number 18, but they are trending up. At number 17, we got the St. Louis Cardinals. And, 1.5 back in this wild card race. They lost their makeup game to the Mets this week. They won 2 out of 3 against the Rays. They split with the Royals. I don't want to say the Cardinals are mid, but when you look at where they rank when it comes to the offense, the starting pitching, and the relief pitching, it's very all of it's in the middle, right? They're 17th in offense. They're 14th in starting pitching. Bullpen has been a little rough lately, though. They're 12th overall in relief pitching. They were a top 10 bullpen at one point, but they have taken some hits here. As for the offense, right, Mason Wynn, Contreras, Arenado, they have been hitting pretty well as of late. Starting pitching, Sonny Gray, he continues to have a good season. 7 innings, 2 earned, 6 Ks against the Royals. Bullpen, though, I mean, my goodness, this bullpen has not been good as of late, right? Fernandez, Romero, they both took L's this week. So the Cardinals, for the most part, kind of a whatever sort of a week, up and down, but they're right there in that playoff picture. We got the Giants at number 16. They move up from the last time we did this. And listen, I'll tell you what, the Giants, I'm telling you, Maury's Life, where are you? I know you're in the chat somewhere. But the Giants, listen, I was saying in the first half, if you remember, my potato brain saying to all of you at home, look out. I think the Giants, they could get hot, right? They got some good stuff going on in this team. It just kind of felt like they didn't have their chickens in order. Is that the right way? Is that how you say it? Chickens in order? Ducks in a row? Is that what it is? Ducks in a row? I think that's what it is, right? Or is it chickens in a row? That doesn't make sense. I think it's ducks in a row. I felt like they just didn't fully have everything together. And now it almost feels like they're kind of putting some stuff together here. They're starting to look pretty good here. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're 12th in offense on the year. They are 6th overall in their last 7 games. Tyler Fitzgerald, Michael Conforto, even Matt Chapman have gotten pretty hot lately. They're doing some things in this lineup here. Blake Snell, no longer Blake Smell, by the way. That Blake Smell is gone. He is done. Blake Snell has moved, everybody. Blake Snell has returned. Blake Smell will no longer be on this channel unless Blake Snell wants to take a vacation and, maybe Smell comes back. But he's been great. Wow. I mean, he's just been amazing since coming back. Logan Webb, he's been pitching great as of late. In the bullpen, Walker, Tyler Rogers have been pretty solid there. The Giants are just looking pretty good, right? Overall, everything is looking pretty solid. They won 3 out of 4 against the Nationals this week. They won 2 out of 3 against the Tigers. They're starting to put some wins together here. Listen, don't sleep on this Giants team. Could they do sort of what the Diamondbacks did last year, where they kind of just got in at the end, right? They just put together a few wins and they found themselves in that 3rd spot. I think that's kind of what you're looking at with the Giants right now. So, number 15, we got the Mets. I think the Mets are getting the crap kicked out of them tonight. Was that happening? Is that what's going on here? What's going on with the Mets? Is it final? Oh boy, it was 12-1. Good grief. What the heck happened to the Mets here tonight? Okay, well, I mean, do I have to lower the Mets here? I think I'm going to lower the Mets. I mean, I think I have to do that. You just lost 12-1? I mean, my goodness. Let's see here. Goodness. They didn't even put up a fight. What in the world happened there? I mean, man. I don't know. Let me know, chat. What do you think? Do you think the Mets need to be lowered a little bit? Let me know. Do the Giants get bumped up here? Or do the Mets move up? Oh, yeah, Baseball AI. Yes, thank you for that. Camille Duvall got optioned as well. I forgot about that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, Cal Riley. Fusion. My goodness, Cal Riley's having himself a decent year. Brendan saying Mets lower. Gefilte fish. Giants over the Mets. Brendan says Giants higher. Justin Vu, Mets got swept. Yeah. Yeah, I listen, we got to make the move. We got to make the move, everyone. Listen, I'm sorry, but when you lose 12-1, again, I get ready for the power rankings as that game is going on. So if it's a blowout like that, I mean, what the heck? We got to fix that here. Here we go. Let's make the switch. I'll be honest with you. I was already thinking about putting the Giants at 15, and we have seen enough to make the switch. Here we go. All right. Wait, no, I made a goof. I just made a goof. Hold on. Nope, that's not right. Hold on. That is not the right team. There we go. Okay, here we go. 16. We got the Mets. Where we got? Where are we? I can't find the Mets. Where are the? There's the Mets. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Mets at number 16. Giants at number 15. But yeah, really liking what the Giants are doing lately. But the Mets, their offense has gone cold, as you saw tonight. 1 run tonight. They're 22nd in offense. Well, coming into today, over the last 7 games. I mean, let's see what they probably drop a couple of spots over the last 7 after tonight's loss. But yeah, they had a top 10 offense this year, and they've been slumping. So that's not helping out. You know, they have been getting some decent starting pitching, minus tonight. Sean Manaea did pitch well against the Cardinals this last time out. I think Manaea pitched tonight, if I am not mistaken. Was that Manaea tonight? Oh, no, that was Castillo tonight. Oh, no, sorry, Severino, I mean. Goodness. He wasn't awful. 8 Ks, 4 runs over 5. All right, so never mind. But, yeah, Sean Manaea, he pitched really well against the Cardinals, right? 7 shutout, 10 Ks. Blackburn, he's been a pretty decent pickup for the Mets here. 12 innings, 2 earned so far in 2 starts. Bullpen, you know, not good tonight, but Edwin Diaz picked up a save against the Rockies this week. So anyway, the Mets, not great. Not great right now. Number 14. Got my Red Sox. Man, my Red Sox are looking pretty good there for a little bit. And, all right. Well, 14. They won 2 out of 3 against the Royals, and they got their heinies kicked against the Astros. My goodness. What a depressing weekend that was. I mean, you're feeling good. You take 2 out of 3 against the Royals, the team you're competing with for the 3rd wild card, and you're feeling, I don't know what it is. The Astros, they always break our hearts every time. They don't just break our hearts. They punch us in the face. They take our lunch money. They take us, they pick us up, they sit us down at the table, and then they eat the lunch in front of us. That's how they've been treating us over the years. Minus 2018. But, you know, I don't know what it is. The Astros, they just got our number a lot. They're 3 back in the wild card right now. That's the one thing with the Red Sox, right? This year, it feels like when they lose, they lose in a big bunch, and then it just so happens the other team puts together a few wins, like the Royals, right? And, you know, it's like we go from like 1 game up, and then all of a sudden we're 3 games back. And it's like, what the heck just happened? Like, what? That's what this year has been. When the Red Sox are good, they're fun. But when they're bad, I hate everything. James Paxton. I mean, this is a move they made at the deadline. I'll be honest, I was a little underwhelmed. I mean, listen, terrible for James Paxton, right? That whatever happened with his calf, it looked horrible. The guy just basically collapsed. I'm hoping it's not too serious, but that looked like he's not going to be pitching for the rest of the year. That's just me. At the end of the day, you know, the Red Sox, yeah, they made a move, but I'm thinking in my head, like, man, Paxton? You know, don't get me wrong, like, I liked it for the depth, but you would have maybe liked a bit of an upgrade in the rotation. Paxton was more of, I don't want to say like a lateral kind of a move, but it was just something you just added. Yeah, you would have liked a little bit more there, all right? But, you know, the way this market was at the deadline. But then again, you know, even picking up someone like a Frankie Montas, I feel like would have been a bit more intriguing there. You know what I mean? Even though Paxton, I mean, Montas' numbers hadn't been looking great either, but Montas was showing some good stuff. I feel like you didn't really have to, I mean, I don't know. They didn't give up, I would say, a boatload for, I mean, they had to give up a decent prospect for him, but I don't know. You feel like the Red Sox maybe could have done a little bit more than Paxton, but it is what it is. The offense, I mean, hey, this offense still ranks really well. They're 8th overall in the year. Duran, Yoshida, Wilyer Abreu, they've been hitting well over the last couple of weeks. Starting pitching, again, Paxton, right? You know, it's been bumpy. You know, Brian Bale, he'll be back on the mound this week. You know, Houck, he's been taking his licks here over the last month or so. Cutter Crawford's giving up home runs left and right. They got to get this in order, right? The bullpen, they've been having a bunch of injuries. They picked up Lucas Sims, Luis Garcia. I did like those moves for the most part. Lucas Sims, sure, fine, does rack up the Ks, but the FIP, wasn't a big fan of what the FIP looked like compared to the ERA. Luis Garcia, I thought was fine. But they've taken their bumps. They've had a couple of good outings, but then they've also had a couple of not so good outings, right? So bullpen needs to get back to full strength. Liam Hendricks should be back at some point this year. I still think you need to get Justin Slayton, Cooper Criswell back in here. In other news, though, while it's, not great right now over the last few days for the Red Sox, they've got some pretty good news today, right? Marcelo Meyer, Kyle Teal, Roman Anthony, all three of them getting moved up to AAA. Pretty cool, right? That's your next core, right? That's your next core guys you're going to build around. And they all got moved up to AAA today. So that was pretty cool. They're all doing pretty well in the minors this year. So excited to see if maybe one of them at least could get a cup of coffee at some point this year. Whether or not they're in the playoff race or not, it would be cool to see them, maybe get a couple at-bats, maybe. But Trevor Story, this is a guy where, remember, go back early part of the season, Trevor Story, right, making a spectacular play, but then his shoulder just exploded, and then Trevor Story was to never be seen again. But he might actually be able to come back this year. I'm going to hold my breath on that. I feel like I've heard that story before, where a player's like, yeah, I'm feeling like I can make it back this year. Maybe even the manager, I feel like I've seen it before, where they're like, yeah, I think, he could maybe come back this year. And then you end up not seeing him. So if Story comes back this year, that's great. If not, though, I won't be surprised. But the Red Sox, they're not making me too happy as of late. Number 13, we got the Mariners. I mean, they just won pretty big. I don't know. Do I got to move the Mariners up here? I mean, they just shellacked the Braves here. I mean, we might have to make a move. I mean, I don't know here. I mean, there's some things about the Mariners I still don't quite enjoy on the offensive side. So, but after that performance tonight, I mean, maybe we might have to, I don't know. A part of me is sort of like, man, I know the Braves have not been great as of late. A part of me is still holding on to hope with the Braves. I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I know. I see you. Sean Hines, I see you. I know the Mariners just swept them. I know. But it's hard, man. It's hard. When you've seen the Braves be so good for so long and they're just breaking your heart left and right. I mean, come on. I mean, it feels weird to drop them to number 13. I mean, it feels wrong. Let me talk about the Mariners first. Let me digest it a little bit more. But obviously, the Mariners putting together a ton of runs here tonight. Not bad. I think Mariners fans are very excited to see a performance like that, with how up and down and how stagnant this offense has been. That's a great showing. Gotta love that. But, I mean, if you go back to the last 7 games, yeah, they busted out here tonight, but they were 30th overall in the last 7 games in offense. Their offense has not been picking it up. I don't know. They're 21st overall on the year. They'll get a bit of a bump after tonight. Haniger, sure, had the walk-off the other night, but, man, it's like another one of those things. You had to scratch and claw to get a win. Cool, fun win, right? Haniger coming up there, got by the diving catch opportunity, and I think Mariners win an exciting game there, right? But that's, again, it feels like the Mariners, it just feels like they're always just trying to get by, this offense. I don't know. The pitching, though, I mean, yeah, you can't say anything bad about this pitching. It's been great. I mean, obviously good pitching here tonight, only giving up 1 run there. Luis Castillo looked amazing tonight here. I just got, what just happened here? Hold on a second. I just got a, Jarren Duran got into a bit of a thing with a fan or something. I don't know what happened there. But something with Jarren Duran getting into, he issued an apology after an incident with a fan. I'm not sure what happened there. Sorry about that. But yeah, good pitching tonight, right? Luis Castillo, solid, right? Obviously a lot of run support, so you got to love that. But Logan Gilbert, he looked great against the Mets this weekend. 7 innings, 6 Ks. Brian Wu, he looked good against the Tigers this past week. You know, bullpen for the most part, they're doing their job, right? You know, you can't worry about this pitching. It's the offense I just don't like with this Mariners team. I am going to hold here because at the end of the day, right, yes, you did sweep the Mets, right? But you also lost 2 out of 3 to the Tigers this week. So let's pump the brakes. Okay? It's a good win here tonight, right? I want to see the Mariners put together some more offense. Is this just, I don't want to say a blip on the radar. A blip on the radar is usually in a negative way, right? This is a good blip on the radar. But can they continue getting these runs across the board? I want to see that a little bit more before I move them a little higher. At number 12, we got the Braves. All right, we got the Braves. Again, it feels weird having the Braves at number 12. This is odd. I don't understand this. I don't know what's going on. Well, now that the Mets lost, let's go to the updated standings. And so now I think what do we got here? So the Braves are now officially in the third wild card spot with the Mets loss. So the Braves are in the playoff picture at this point. In the playoff picture. And I know, I can already hear it now. The Mariners, right? You know, they're tied for the division. I know, right? But 2 different situations going on there. So when it comes to the Braves here, right? I got swept by the Brewers this week. Losing 2 out of 3 to the Rockies. Just a terrible, terrible game here today. Luke Jackson, Jimenez combining to give up 7 runs today after a good start from Spencer Schwellenbach. Jorge Soler bringing the power just like the Braves wanted. That's been working out. Austin Riley's heating up here lately. Arcia went 4 for 4 today. Not much offense from him this year, right? So, yeah, it was a good-looking game here for the Braves. A game that you could end your week. Not a great week overall, but it's one of those wins where you're like, okay, you know what? A good win to end your week. And then it just completely fell apart like that. What is that going to do for team morale at this point? That's what I'm wondering. I mean, hey, these guys, right? They've been here for a while. Will it be something where it gets to them a little bit? Do the Braves make some adjustments? I don't know. It feels just like a bad situation right now. I still trust that the Braves are going to be able to figure this out, but they are starting to, they are really walking that line. They're walking a fine line right now. Luckily, they are getting some guys stepping up here in this offense. Like I just mentioned, Soler with a couple of home runs today. Riley's heating up. You even got Olsen Ozuna hitting pretty well lately. The bullpen has been an issue, right? Not even today, right? Don't even count today. The bullpen in the last 7 games before today had a 6.91 ERA. So this bullpen has been struggling. So the Braves, I'm going to give them another week. Here. Let's see if they can put together a few wins, get this back on track. But it's looking pretty rough right now for Atlanta. And we just had a super chat come in from Sound FX. Let me get the Conmans really quick. Conman 752, $5. May dum-da-dums. Oh, I see what you're saying now. May your Pats continue to suck for the next 20 years. You've enjoyed enough happiness with your sports teams. Save it for the rest of us. Listen, I'm honestly in a wait and see mode with Drake May. We'll see how that ends up going. I mean, I'm not a football expert by any means, but you're right. We were spoiled with the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. So I'm going to be in a wait and see with Drake May. We'll see. I feel like I've seen something with quarterbacks coming out of North Carolina where they haven't had a lot of success. I don't know if that's going to be the situation here. We'll see how it goes, right? It's also weird. There's no Belichick anymore. This is weird right now as a Pats fan. I don't know. But Con Man, thank you. And I agree. I think we need to kind of spread the love a little bit. But give us a couple of years. We'll be back. SoundFX09, $10 super chat, talking about the Braves. Here we go. Braves are number 12, I guess. Swept versus Milwaukee, then lost terribly at Colorado. 4 against San Francisco, 3 against the Angels. No consistency. Offense starting to ignite, but pitching has collapsed. Today's loss could start an irrecoverable tailspin. I mean, this is a big week for the Braves. I think this could be like a make or break week for the Braves. I think this is a good opportunity to restore that morale among the team. You know, maybe they could use this today as like, man, some kind of a bit of a put a fire up their butt a little bit. Maybe they can get going here, but that's a tough loss, man. That's one of those where you kind of sit down after a game and you just like stare at the ceiling and you're like, what the heck just happened, right? I am sorry, SoundFX. I know it's been a tough one for you this year, but moving on here, number 11, we got the Kansas City Royals losing 2 out of 3 to my Red Sox, but my Red Sox, unfortunately, just they kicked the bucket this past weekend. They didn't do anything this weekend, so the Royals are in good shape in the wild card race. They split with St. Louis this weekend. Offense is 13th overall. Bobby Witt, he's been red hot in the last 30 games, hitting .443, a .779 slugging, 9 home runs. MJ Melendez is hitting well. MJ Melendez, this is a guy I'm thinking for the whole year. What is this guy doing? Right? He's a guy that should be giving something for this offense, and he wasn't really doing anything. He's heating up lately, though, hitting .318 with a .500 slugging in the last 7 games. Pitching continues to be solid, right? That's the one thing with the Royals this year. The starting pitching has been good, right? Reagan's, Waka picking up wins. Lugo did take the L against my Red Sox this week. A rare L for Seth Lugo. And the bullpen, right? Lucas Erceg was a big pickup for them at the deadline. That was one of my favorite moves at the deadline, and he has been great. No runs allowed in 6 appearances so far. So, Lucas Erceg, man, Royals looking pretty good. They're knocking on the door here for the top 10. And let's get to the top 10 here. Let's get to the top 10. And Patrick B., thank you for becoming a member, my friend. You're amazing. Thank you for that. But everyone, before we get to the next tier, if you can, just hit that like button for me. And if anyone is new, think about subscribing. And here we go. Let's get to the next tier. The top 10. Here we go. I can't wait for all the angry people in the chat. I'm always making people mad when it comes to the top 10. Let's see how many more people I can make grumpy. At number 10. I think, is this the first time this year? I don't know. I feel like maybe in the preseason rankings, they were in the top 10. In the final power rankings before the season started. I think that's when they were. I don't think they've been in the top 10 all year. We got the Astros. Look at the Astros back in the top 10. Great week for the Astros. Winning 2 out of 3 against the Rangers. Sweeping my Red Sox. The offense has not been an issue at all with this team all year. They're 11th overall on the year. They scored 10 runs today. Yordan Alvarez is red hot in his last 7 games. 4 home runs, a 1,000 slugging. Yordan Alvarez is so good, man. Bregman, Yainer Diaz, they've been hitting well. Offense, don't got to worry about that. It's been the pitching, right? And they have been really getting this going here. They're 3rd overall in starting pitching in the last 7 games. Hunter Brown, 9 strikeouts today. Arrighetti wrecked my Red Sox the other night. 13 strikeouts over 7 innings. Kikuchi's even been a pretty good pickup for them, despite, they gave up a lot for a rental in Kikuchi, right? But at least it's paying off so far, right? 11 innings pitched, 4 earned, 19 strikeouts. So He's doing pretty well. As for the bullpen, though, Rafael Montero ended up getting DFA'd. Man, he was so good a couple of years ago, and it's funny how things can change that quick. But Astros, look at that, top 10. At number 9, I got the Twins. The Twins, here's the thing about the Twins, right? I like the Twins. I like what this team is doing. It's the strength of schedule with the Twins, right? You can also say this about the Guardians a little bit. No disrespect, I'm just saying. But when you do look at the strength of schedule, the Twins, they're near the bottom there, right? Same thing with the Guardians. I'm sorry. I'm not taking anything away from their seasons, but when I'm looking at some of these other teams, and when I see that they've had tougher schedules and, I want to put the Twins higher, but a part of me holds back a little bit on the Twins. And, and this week wasn't an amazing week for them. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Cubbies. They split with the Guardians. They rank really well in all the numbers, right? They're 6th in offense. They're 6th in starting pitching. They're 4th in relief pitching. So they're doing well. They're doing well this year. As for the offense, right, Matt Wallner's been red hot. Buxton, Christian Vasquez have been hitting well. Yeah, they're getting runs, right? And Ober, he was really good against Cleveland, 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, right? David Festa, he was kind of whatever today, but he pitched well against the Cubs his last time out. Joe Ryan, unfortunately, he's got something going on with the shoulder there. I like this Twins team, right? It's the strength of schedule a little bit that's holding me back slightly, and on top, combined with some other teams playing really good right now, it's nothing against the Twins. Nothing against the Twins. I'm just saying. Here we go. I got the Padres at number 8. Is it Padres fans I'm expecting Padres fans to be yelling at me that they need to be higher here. All right. I could see the argument for the Padres to maybe be a little bit higher. But the Padres are trending up right now. I've been very high on this Padres team this year, and I like what they're doing right now. They're playing really good baseball. They swept the Pirates this week, winning 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. I mean, who knows if that could have ended up being a sweep, right? You saw the home run there, or the home run, right? It looked like it should have been a home run, but they called it back to be a ground rule double. It looked like it hit off the top of the wall. I think they got that call wrong. I think that probably should have been a home run today. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But they haven't lost a series since the All-Star break. This has been a really good Padres team. They're 5th overall in offense. They're 3rd in their last 7. Jackson Merrill is completely tearing it up right now. He's hitting over 400 with a 1,000 slugging, 4 home runs in his last 7 games. I think he would be Rookie of the Year. He would definitely be in consideration if it wasn't for Paul Skeens. But Machado, Profar, Peralta, even Higashioka, they've been hitting well. Bullpen's been really good. They're 5th overall. They're 8th in starting pitching. Dylan Cease, his outing got rained out this week, but Padres are looking really good. I wanted to put them a little higher, but I'm feeling these next couple of teams, right? The Guardians. Now, here's the thing with the Guardians. This week, not amazing, but they were playing so well for so long. They got a series win against the Phillies not too long ago. That kind of helped salvage a bit of a rough stretch they were going through. And then this week, you get swept again. So, I could actually see a situation where the Padres could be even at number 7 here. Because the Guardians, I don't know, I feel like they haven't had that same oomph that they had. So, is this a vote? Is this an opportunity for a vote right now? Is that something we got to do here? Should we do a vote? Guardians and Padres? Maybe. I could see the argument for the Guardians going to 8 and the Padres going to 7, but I also like a lot about this Guardians team. They have the best bullpen in Major League Baseball. Their offense has been pretty solid for the most part. They have been a little cold as of late, minus Andres Jimenez, Jose Ramirez, and Stephen Kwan. But Lane Thomas hasn't really done too much since going over there, right? Fry, he was amazing for the most part of this year, but he's been a little cold lately. Freeman, Rocchio, a bit cold. Alex Cobb got the L in his debut against the Twins. I don't know, the Twins, or sorry, not the Twins, the Guardians, I don't know. I'm a little confused. Jose, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? We're done. Jose, where are the moderators? Where are the moderators? But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe you could do the Padres at 7, maybe the Guardians at number 8. I don't know, Orlando, you make a good point here. Did the Guardians peak? I don't know. Yeah, we'll do a vote. Let's see. Here we go. Did we reach our like goal? Ooh, can we get to 200 likes, everyone? We're at 171. Thank you for helping us get to 100 likes. Let's do a poll here. Who's number 7? Let's do Guardians and Padres. I think you can make an argument for either team. Let's see. What do we got here? Ooh, 50-50 to start things off. Oh, Padres. Ooh, Padres are getting some turnout here. Oh, yeah, this is overwhelming. Oh, man. Well, hey, the Padres are looking pretty good. I mean, you can't argue that. Now, you can maybe say, well, Pirates haven't been playing great lately. The Marlins, they're, bottom feeder of Major League Baseball. But the Guardians, they're not, I don't know. They haven't really been totally inspiring as of late. Haven't been totally inspiring. All right, we're going to make the move. We got about 100 votes. Padres getting 65% of the vote. And, yeah, I think you can make an argument for either team. I like a lot about the Guardians, but I really love what the Padres are doing lately. I am feeling maybe it's a bit of recency bias. That could definitely be a possibility, but I am liking the Padres here. So we're going to go Padres at number 7. And we're going to go Guardians at number 8. The move has been made. We have made the audible, everyone. We've made the audible. But here we go. We are on to number 6. We are on to number 6. I really thought about putting this team in the top 5. I really did. I know I want to see another week. I want to see one more week. I don't think that's too much to ask. I'm going with the Dbacks at number 6. Dbacks at number 6. It's more of a prove it kind of a thing. I think this team absolutely has an argument to be in the top 5. But I want to see another week. I need him to prove it just a little bit. I know they've been doing a lot here. I know. The Dbacks fans, I've been on your side for a couple of years now. I'm a Dbacks guy, okay? I like what the Dbacks are doing. I just want to see, just one more. Give me it. They swept Cleveland this week. That's another reason why I definitely have the Dbacks ahead of the Guardians, right? Because they just beat the crap out of them this week. And they won 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. I mean, listen, are we going to see this again? Are we going to see the D-backs beat the Phillies again? Is this going to be a situation where, kind of like the Braves and the Phillies, right? Where the Phillies had the Braves number for a couple of years. And now is it going to be the other way around where the Diamondbacks are going to have the Phillies number in the playoffs? Is that going to happen again? I mean, I'm just saying. Oh, 3 out of 4. Sorry. They won 3 out of 4. But I like this Diamondbacks team right now, man. I really do. They're 4th in offense. They're 1st overall in the last 7 games. They're red hot. Jock Peterson, Jake McCarthy hitting really well. Corbin Carroll is heating up, everyone. Corbin Carroll is finally starting to come around, hitting 300, over 1,000 OPS in his last 7 games. Ketel Marte, 4 home runs in his last 7 games. Perdomo's hitting great. I mean, the offense is really coming alive here. You got to love what these guys are doing. And the bullpen has been great over the last 7 days. Now, Puck did have a blown save, but he's pitched well for the most part since coming over. Justin Martinez with a couple of saves this week. Ginkel, Mantiply, Floro, they've been solid in this bullpen. I just like what the D-backs are doing here. This is a team I was high on coming into the year. They got off to that, bit of a sluggish start. They've had injuries. Also want to point out Jordan Montgomery. I don't know what it is here with Jordan Montgomery, dude. Am I the only one that what is going on with this guy this year? He was having a bad year, and now he's coming out this week saying the humidity in Arizona was like messing with him or something, and he was like sweating buckets or something. I'm like, what? Listen, I mean, I'm not one to judge, okay? I'm just thinking, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think Montgomery is, I think he just seems lost this year, and I think he's just trying to come up with something, for an answer. I don't know. I don't know, man. He just hasn't looked good. He has not looked good, and it's terrible, right? This is a guy where, at the end of the day, when you look at what happened in the offseason, you have to think that he was not happy with how the offseason went because he moved on from Scott Boras, right? So you got to think, like, would this be happening if he had a spring training? I don't know. But I think Montgomery, I think he needs to, I don't know, maybe get into a little bit of better shape this coming off season. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening here, but he needs to go back into the lab this offseason. In other news about the D-backs, they are looking good, right? Playing great baseball. If he can get himself together, that's only going to help this Diamondbacks team, right? Top 5, here we go. The Brewers are in the top 5. Brewers fans, you can't get mad at me this week. You can't get mad at me. They're in the top 5, okay? Don't yell at me. Leave me alone, okay? Number 5. They swept the Braves. Won 2 out of 3 against the Reds. 7th in offense on the year. They're 2nd in the last 7 games. Jackson Churrio's been red hot. Contreras, Adames hitting really well. Starting pitching, even though it's still not great, it's better than what it's been, right? Even DL Hall came back today, and he was looking all right. Struck out 9 guys in 4 2/3. Rhea, Myers, they've been okay in this rotation. Montas has been so far, but, he's there. But Devin Williams, he's back now. He's pitching well. Brewers are looking good. Here. And hey, the Brewers are going to be in this top 10 for the whole year. It's just, sometimes I've dropped the Brewers a little bit because of the weaker starting pitching that they had. And, maybe combine that some weeks with some other teams hot or whatever, And yeah, Brewers back in, they a couple of times went down to 8, 9, I think 10 at some points. But hey, give them some credit here. They're playing good baseball this week. At number 4, we have the Dodgers. We got the Dodgers at number 4, losing 2 out of 3 to the Phillies. They did sweep the Pirates, though. Teoscar had the walk-off today. 3rd in offense on the year. Teoscar Hernandez has been hitting well. Freeman's been hitting well. And great news. Everything is good to go. With his son, everything has just been, I can't imagine what was even going on there. If I had a kid that was in the hospital, that's terrible. Right. So I'm glad everything worked out there. I'm glad, everyone's in good health. Right. I'm very thankful for that with Freddie Freeman and his family. As for the baseball side of things, besides Teoscar and Freeman, they got a lot of guys cold right now. They got to get this offense fully going again. Starting pitching, right? They've had a lot of injuries. River Ryan, listen. River Ryan getting has a season-ending elbow injury. What is happening here? With this Dodgers team? Like, there are so many guys that are hurt. Listen, I mean, I need to say this. Listen, the Dodgers can get all the talent they want, but if they don't have these guys on the field, then what good is it going to do? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. They need to figure something out here. They need to do something with the injury prevention department because it's not working. They're getting guys just falling like flies. I mean, now River Ryan, a young pitcher, is out. I mean, Yamamoto's out. I don't know. It's like, is there an issue when it comes to managing these players, like in their innings and whatever else? I don't know. It seems to be a problem because they've been having injuries for a while now. It's not just this year. They were having a ton of them last year too. I don't know, man. Yamamoto throwing bullpens. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But the Dodgers need to figure something out here. As for guys that are healthy, Glasnow, he picked up the win against the Phillies, 6 innings, 9 Ks. Flaherty, he's looked pretty good since coming over. 5 2/3, 4 earned, 10 strikeouts against the Pirates. Walker Buehler, Yamamoto, Buehler will be back this week. And Yamamoto, he did say he's going to go on a few rehab assignments, but they haven't said when that's going to happen. But Yamamoto seems to be inching a little closer. As for a guy that is coming back, they are getting Mookie Betts back. So that's going to help with this offense. Like I said, they've had some guys cold. So that's going to help out, right? And I think unless something changed with Mookie, let me make sure. Okay. Moving back to the outfield when he comes back. I was saying this. I'm like, why is Mookie, to me, Mookie Betts, I understood it, right? You got to take one for the team, right? Got to do what's best for the team. But my goodness, Mookie Betts is so good in the outfield. And I had people telling me, oh, he wants to move back. He wants to play second to reduce the wear and tear on his body and blah, blah. It's like, listen, I get it, okay? I get it. But the guy is a gold glove right fielder. Has a cannon for an arm. It's like, I feel like you're just, maybe have him play some second base. Maybe not be a full-time outfielder. But, I mean, come on. When you're wasting what he can do in the outfield, that's not good, right? But Mookie will be playing right field when he comes back. I think that is a tremendous move. Also, sorry to bring up Blake Snell again, but the Dodgers also had interest in Blake Snell. So, there's that. All right, moving on. Number three, we got the Yankees. Up and down week for the Yankees, but overall, I have been liking the way they've looked over the last couple of weeks. They did lose 2 out of 3 to the Angels this week, but they won 2 out of 3 against the Rangers. Aaron Judge, home run number 299. He is on pace to set, or not on pace, but he is 1 home run away from 300. Ralph Kiner, it took him 1,087 games to hit 300 home runs, and Judge is at 952. So I would imagine Judge is going to hit another home run, and he's going to be the fastest ever to 300 home runs. Unbelievable. He's on pace for 56 home runs. And, if he can maybe get a few more in there, maybe get a couple of games with a couple of home runs, maybe he can get to that 60 mark again. That would be pretty cool. One guy, though, I want to talk about, Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm has been a great pickup for this team. And I was saying that, too. And I saw Yankee fans, complaining about it. Oh, my goodness. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? This Jazz, I get it. There's that, negative stigma with Jazz, right? Because he's kind of like that lightning rod. He's a guy that's been hurt a lot in his career. He has that overrated label to him. But I'm like, listen, this guy's 26 years old. And I wonder if actually people realize that with him, because I feel like he's just been a name that's been around for a while, but he's still only 26. He's about to go into his prime years. He is hitting great with the Yankees right now. 13 games, hitting 296 with a 345 on base, a 704 slugging, 7 home runs. He's already set a career high in Fangraph wins above replacement. He's about to go into his prime. Yankee fans, as long as everything stays good off the field and whatever, you should be happy about this. I know there was I guess he hit a home run. Was it today or yesterday? I can't remember, but he hit a home run and he was kind of doing the Jazz, thing where he's doing the Euro step and whatever. I saw Yankee fans thinking, dude, we're down. Why are you doing this? It's like, dude, at this point, it's like, you know what you got with Jazz, right? I don't know, whatever. But he's been great. He's been a great addition for them. Verdugo, Austin Wells, they've been hitting pretty well as of late. The pitching, I still think there's some bumps that need to be ironed out. They're 18th overall in starting pitching, 18th overall in relief pitching. But the Yankees right now, I think over the last couple of weeks, they've looked pretty decent here. And I have them as my number 3. At number 2, I got the Phillies. They won 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, but then they dropped 3 out of 4 to the Dbacks. Hey, this Phillies team is very good. They're 10th in offense overall. Schwarber had 3 home runs in a game against the Dodgers this week. Bryce Harper's been hitting well. Bohm, Castellanos hitting well. starting pitching, right? Starting pitching has taken a couple of bumps. They're still top 5 in Major League Baseball overall. Christopher Sanchez got absolutely rocked today. Nola was bumpy against the D-backs. I got a decent start from Zach Wheeler against Arizona. It was a no decision, 6 innings, 2 earned, 8 Ks. But the bullpen, they have had a couple of bumps here. Estevez, I believe his date, I don't know, my potato brain's not remembering, but it was a little bumpy in his debut with the Phillies, but he picked up the save this past week. Kerkering, Junior Marte, Hoffman have struggled lately, though. Phillies bullpen, they got to get this ironed out. But, hey, Phillies, they're an elite team here. But, listen, again, I will mention this one more time. Are we seeing a situation where if we see the D-backs and the Phillies run into each other once again, is that the kryptonite for the Phillies, the Arizona Diamondbacks? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do like the Phillies. At number 1, I got the Orioles, another team that had an up-and-down week, but overall, I just like this Orioles team right now, especially Jackson Holliday coming into the fold yet again, right? Man, he has been just hitting bombs, man. 4 home runs and 26 ABs, had the grand slam coming back up from the minor leagues. Everyone was saying, oh, this guy's overrated, he's washed, this guy's not going to do anything, and while the batting average and the on-base are low, he's still hitting for some power coming back up. So Jackson Holliday is going to be fine, man. He's going to be good. Santander, not a lot of offense today, but Santander did have the home run today. Kimbrel took the L today. Kimbrel, sorry. Kimbrel, when he's locked in, man, he looks good, but there's just times with Kimbrel, man. He just scares the crap out of me. Suarez, he did pitch pretty well today, though. 6 2/3, 0 earned. Eflin got a win against the Rays on Friday. They rank 7th overall in starting pitching. They have a top 10 bullpen. Offense ranks 1st overall. I just like this Orioles team. I like it. I like where they rank. I like the way they play. I don't know. They pass the smell test for me. They rank well in the numbers. I just like the way they look. But I think you could make an argument for the Phillies to be number 1. I think the Yankees could have an argument to be number 1. Maybe you could even say something to the Dodgers. I don't know. Dodgers, all the injuries worry me a little bit. But there you go, everyone. There's my top 20. I know I showed all 30, but we're going to be focusing on the top 20 moving forward here for the rest of the regular season. Let me just check the chat before I do wrap things up. We got a super chat from Jack Campbell. $2 super chat. Phils are 7-15 and got destroyed by the D-backs. Yes, I am not ready to put the D-backs just because of one series win. Not ready to put the D-backs ahead. It takes more than that for me. Just because of one series win. The Phillies have been one of the best teams in baseball all year, and the Diamondbacks, yes, they have been playing great since the All-Star break. They are looking great, but, few weeks isn't going to replace an entire year, right? But the Diamondbacks are trending in the right direction. Let's see if they can keep this up. Maury's Life with $1.99. Giants should be number 1. Maury's Life, listen, if they can keep it up here, I mean, who knows? Let's see. Can the Giants? We got to get to the top 10 first, okay? We got to get to the top 10. Everyone, I'm going to wrap this up here. It's good to be back doing some power rankings. Wasn't here last week. And, feels good. Feels good to get back on here, see all your friendly faces in the chat. Thank you for the super chats tonight. Do appreciate that. Appreciate all the chatter in the chat. And everyone, look out for some more videos this coming week. I uploaded one this weekend. Which managers do I think are on the hot seat? Go check that out. If you haven't already, go leave a comment there. Tell me what you think. But everyone, I'm going to wrap this up here for tonight. Just want to say thank you to all of you. It's always a pleasure to be on here and talk to all your friendly faces. But everyone, go have yourself a good rest of your night. Go get some rest. And we'll be back live next Sunday. And again, look out for content this coming week. But everyone, also, one more thing. If you can, do check out So Rare MLB. Link is in the description down below. Completely free to sign up. Go draft your team. Go see if you can go beat up some of those other teams out there. It's a pretty fun way to play. But everyone, I'm out of here. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next time.